Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. So the last video that I made was us building me building the bottom part, the Delrin part of the tipping die. And then this is the tipping die that we actually handmade. And you can see we put this on the, I got this old milling machine right here. And we put it at an angle and, you know, cut off this side so that you can't really see it in the camera, but it's kind of it's peaked right here. And then this was off the Harbor Freight, this bead roller, but all this stuff Spud and I made. And then the Delrin part, I made this on the lathe out at the other shop. But it's Saturday and I'm working on some fenders. And sorry about the crappy camera work, but we've got the 38 almost completely done, but I didn't want no rust or nothing like that in that car, so we cut every little piece out of rust, and then we made this panel because it was all rotted out real bad. And I'll show you what it looked like. This is the bottom of the fender, and you can see it was really bad. There was a lot of Bondo and stuff, and we don't use Bondo in the shop, so you know, we might use a little bit of putty, like on spots like this where it's little imperfections. We'll put a little bit of putty, you know, instead of filling it all up with primer. But this piece here was really rotted out real bad, and it was like, let's see, it was like that. And then there was an inner brace in there. So we actually made the inner brace, and you can see it where it's welded from the inside, so that when the fender bolts through, this won't rattle apart, and you'll have new holes in the fenders like these, because some of these holes were all rotted out like this. And you can see how bad they were. So that's all fresh, new, hammered and welded and sanded and whatever, and this thing will be ready for primer. I'll have it in primer today. But the tipping wheel, what I wanted to show you is this fender. This fender, the blue stuff is the dye that I use to, I spray on the dye, and then it helps me when I go and scribe something. It's completely perfect. Like right there, when I scribe these lines, you can see it shows up in the camera a little bit, but there you go. So this blue dye is just Dykem fluid right here. So that's what's sprayed on this right here, and the reason I did that is when you go to cut something out, it helps a lot. So what happened is this fender had a bunch of rot and Bondo and stuff like that, and there's no way I'm leaving it in there. And you can see where it was doubled up right there. And they had this fender lip all messed up. Well, this radius right here is almost impossible to make without a tipping die. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways you can do metalwork, but you know, I'm not saying it's the easiest way to do it, but the fastest, more efficient, and to me the best way to do it is to use a tipping die. Well, I didn't have one, so that's why we made that tipping die, and that's why I'm doing the video today, to show you what you can make with it. So this is a round panel right here on this fender, and what happens is this lip goes down and then curves back around like this. You can see how it curves around right here. Well, that's what we did here, is we cut this piece out of the fender, all the rot, and then we made this with the tipping die. And it still needs to be hammered and dollied and whatever and sanded, and then when we're done, it'll look like this. You won't be able to even tell it's there, but I wanted to be able to show it in the camera where you can kind of see the shape of the piece that we changed in the fender. And almost all the fenders on this car was like this, so we've changed all the metalwork in the car so that everything's like brand new, so there's no rust left in the car or rusty spots. But anyways, we took this flat piece of metal and we ran it in the tipping die, and it put this radius right here on it. And before I cut the fender out, I made sure both fenders have this here. This is a template, and I had it so you can see where we ran it down here, the shape of the fender, and I ran it right here. And that's real important when you're doing metal work. And then that way you pick up that same exact template or that same exact shape when you put the fender back together. So then we traced out on a piece of metal the part that we needed, and we ran it on my bead roller in the tipping die, and what it did is it curled that all the way around. So then this shape was here, and then I took the blue dye, sprayed it on here, scribed this out, cut it out, had the new piece ready, and then I'll show you what it looks like from the backside. And then now this will be all blasted, so it's nice and sanded and clean and whatever. But then you can see So it's welded on the other side, and then it's also welded on this side. So if you grind through a weld, you're not gonna have a crack or anywhere for rust to start or whatever. So this is what that tipping die does. You can see on this fender, it comes like this. Well, this shape is what the tipping die does. It makes it perfectly so that you can put this back on there and weld it in, and then you got a brand new fender, you know. This piece right here is new. So, and then I'm gonna shape it right now, hammer, dolly, get it perfect, and then we'll get these in primer, and that car's gonna be ready for paint pretty much. And it's, you know, it's starting to go fast. So we wanna get the job done, and we got a couple weeks to get it finished, and it'll be out of here. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching.